Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Residents of Chesney, Mara, and Gangaram in Region 6 will soon benefit from improved access to healthcare services with the construction of 3 new health centres this year. This was revealed by Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony recently during the commissioning of the outpatient facility at the Port Morant Hospital in the Ancient County.
We want to extend services so that it becomes more accessible. And one of the things that we'll be doing is adding at least 3 new health centers to the already existing set of health centers that we have in the region. So we have already awarded the contracts to these 3 health centers. We have sent to the region from the ministry $100 million to do such types of repairs.
Meanwhile, Dr. Anthony noted that the contract has already been awarded for the construction of a new hospital at Skildon this year. As government continues to provide infrastructural development and training opportunities in the health sector, a modern training facility will be constructed to train more nurses this year in Region 6. This will help to enhance the delivery of healthcare services in the region. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony made a disclosure during the recent commissioning of the Port Morant outpatient facility.
For many years now, you have had a little nursing school. Nursing school probably would be able to do, 30, 40 nurses. And if they're taking their registered nursing program, that will probably take, 3 years to complete. And in many instances, while again we have made a lot of investment in upgrading the existing facility, we recognize that this facility is not adequate and the space that they have is not adequate. So starting this year, and we've already done the contract for the design of the facility, in this institution we'll be putting in simulation labs. So when you have to do certain procedures, instead of going live in one of the hospitals, you can simulate it.
To further expand the coconut industry, over 275 farmers throughout the country will soon benefit from the latest batch of the Brazilian green dwarf coconuts. This was disclosed by Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa during the arrival of the coconuts at Hope Coconut Industries Limited, HCIL, Hope Estate East Coast Demerara, on Tuesday.
Today I am very pleased that we have received 13,000 of those green dwarf high-value coconut from Brazil. Last year, with the 2,000 coconut that we would have received as a grant from the IDB and the EU, we had 24 farmers we would have helped to increase the varieties around the country. This here will help us tremendously, where we'll roll out this program across the country in all the regions of our country, and we will engage close to about 300 farmers. Between 275 to 300 farmers will benefit, will help us to increase the variety, to multiply it, so that we can create an industry of a coconut in our country in terms of export.
The coconut industry is the 3rd most lucrative locally, and Guyana is looking to tap into the market for it to become a major one. Several youths residing in Manchester and surrounding villages along the Quarantine Coast will soon benefit from President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali's Agriculture and Innovation Entrepreneurship Program, AEIP, allowing them to cultivate high-value crops. The initiative will help to bolster agriculture along the Quarantine Coast, empower youths, and create job opportunities in the region. This was highlighted by Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa while engaging community members on Saturday.
I will be back shortly because a young lady raised with me that there are a number of young people who wants to get involved in agriculture. The high value crop, the president would have set up that company where young people are shareholders. Now we said that we will replicate that in different parts of the country. So I'll be back in that area to launch that program with young people, so that we can have that program in Manchester, Lancaster, Liverpool areas there.
Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton underscored that a framework must be set for greater cooperation among the Caribbean ministers of labour on various issues to ensure that more people benefit from opportunities. The minister made these remarks at the opening ceremony of the 12th meeting of the Caribbean Ministers of Labour held on Tuesday at the Marriott Hotel Kingston. The meeting is a collaborative effort between the International Labour Organization (ILO) and Guyana.
I am expecting outcomes that would see us not only collaborating on the various issues, but also having exchange programs with each other ministries and a reinvention of our technical education program to ensure that more persons will benefit from same. There must be a roadmap as to where we go from here at the end of this important meeting. Otherwise, we will be failing our people who are expecting much more from us.
An outcome document, which will be provided at the end of the 3-day 12th International Labour Organization (ILO) Caribbean Labour Ministers meeting, will develop a framework to strengthen key areas for a sustainable future for all. This was underlined by Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton during a press conference on Tuesday at the Marriott Hotel Kingston.
We can assure you that at the end of the 3 days, our document that we will present to the public, the digestion of all our people, will be taking care of their needs and how we work to ensure that what we put on paper is effective.
A document has been prepared following the culmination of the International Labour Organization (ILO) 12th meeting in the Caribbean Ministers of Labour on Thursday, which captures labour, migration, re-engineering the education system, protection of workers, and social justice issues regionally. This was highlighted by the Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton during a media conference at the Marriott Hotel Kingston.
We have a document that we have agreed upon, but generally this is just the beginning of our collaboration and cooperation. Importantly, we have instructed that our technical teams coordinate amongst themselves to develop whatever strategies, programs, and plans that we at the level of policy and government would want to initiate in the Caribbean, whether all the nations together or whether bilaterally.
As we continue as government with the transformational build-out across communities through the leadership of Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, our President, we recognize community leaders and volunteer organizations as partners. Together, we advance towards increased prosperity for all Guyanese, regardless of their race, religion, or any other factor.
That was Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Onich Waldron, delivering the feature address at the inaugural Sophia Community Awards for Service and Excellence Saturday evening. Minister Waldron said government recognizes that volunteerism is a vital contributor to building a unified society, which in turn promotes civic engagement, resulting in economic and social growth for the nation.
We want to ensure that while we expand and improve infrastructure and services, we are also incorporating the people of the communities. That is why we ensure that the persons who reside in Sophia and adjoining communities were employed to deliver the new bridge at the B Field, also known as the Blacko.
Minister Waldron stated that the awards ceremony presents a blueprint that communities across Guyana should adopt as part of their development goals. The Ministry of Legal Affairs, in collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB) on Monday, handed over a new vehicle and computer equipment to the Drug Treatment Court of Guyana under the support of the Criminal Justice System Program. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senior Counsel Anil Nandlal said that this partnership represents government's commitment to enhancing Guyana's justice system.
The core objective of this program, conceptually, was to reduce our prison population, but we have managed to stretch the elasticity of that core objective to embrace related, directly and tangentially, objectives that we consider important for the smooth administration of criminal justice.
The Drug Treatment Court integrates drug treatment and rehabilitation services in the criminal justice system and seeks to address the needs of each participant. Chancellor of the Judiciary Justice Yonit Cummins Edwards highlighted the benefits of the court, which include a reduction of recidivism and the promotion of public safety. She said the vehicle and other equipment will assist in executing the duties of the court in helping persons to become productive members of society. The Ghana Chamber of Commerce was on Monday morning officially launched here. The launching took place at the Chamber's new head office on Church and New Garden Street, Queenstown, Georgetown. Ghana's Minister for Trade and Industry, Honorable Katie Hammond, noted that the venture will aid in the development of both countries.
This is commerce. This is trade. We're talking about industrialization, we're talking about development of our respective countries, but you cannot produce, you cannot industrialize and keep all the products that are produced in your country. There has to be some sort of a trading relationship between countries.
Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips on Friday said survivors of the recent Madhya fire and their families are currently undergoing counseling, spearheaded by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. The Prime Minister pointed out that the therapy is long-term and aims to assist the families with coping.
Every family is receiving counseling. There's still a few who are still to be identified, a few girls who would have been at the dorm at the time, and we're still working to get to their families. Every family that we've identified, every one of the girls who survived and were in the hospital at the time, they are now undergoing counseling. The bottom line is, I can go on and give in all the details, but the government of Guyana, as usual, I keep saying it all the time, a caring government, we have been in contact with all the families, and we will continue to remain in contact with all the families during this difficult time. This counseling is not a short-term or a one-off activity.
In addition to the medical and psychosocial interventions facilitated by government, ministers have been assigned to the grieving families to provide the necessary support.
So we have a list of ministers who are working with each family. And as you know, families were brought to Georgetown along with patients who were brought to Georgetown. And we, from the government side, is funding the upkeep of those families in terms of allowances, financial assistance for the time they're going to be in Georgetown. We're covering all the accommodation, the meals, and the transportation of the family to the hospital to see their loved ones.
This brings us to the end of this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website at dpi.gov.gy and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.